Hey, do you love real estate investing? Have you considered Airbnb as part of your rental income? Do you want to know how you can buy property with low down payments using FHA loans and live in the property for very, very low or no monthly payment? Well, you've come to the right place. If you don't know me already, my name is Maxim Cruz. I am a real estate broker as well as a real estate investor. And back in 2011, my wife and I, we actually decided to postpone our wedding ceremony in order to buy a 4-unit multifamily investment property where we lived in one of the units, rented out the other units, had cash flow since day one, were able to enjoy the benefits and continue to enjoy the benefits as real estate investors, and have been able to scale our real estate business. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. This is a special video series that I am actually doing for Denzel Rodriguez. Denzel is a good friend of mine, and he introduced me to velocity banking. If you have no idea what velocity banking is, go down to the link below to check out Denzel's channel, where you can learn about velocity banking and how you can pay off your debt much quicker, okay? And again, this is all about real estate investing. Again, I am a real estate broker as an investor as well. Today we focus on a little bit bigger deals, anything from 20 units and higher, but this is exactly how I got started on how you can get started as well. So again, if you're a Canadian citizen, welcome again, and let's get started. But before we do, let me just give you my disclosure. Because I am a licensed real estate broker, this is for information purposes only. This is not investment advice. Again, I don't know what your scenario is, and always seek the right licensed professionals in your area, whether it's a financial planner or somebody that's licensed that can look at your complete financial situation and give you some financial advice. So this is for information purposes only. Second part is, because I've been a real estate broker for over 13 years, I've actually been able to build a list of other real estate brokers throughout the United States. So if you're not in Miami and if you decide to work with somebody else, I would love to refer you to a broker that can help you analyze and find deals like this. And then lastly, if you have a deal that you want me to analyze, you can go ahead and email that to me, and you don't have to send me your address or the MLS number. All we need is 3 pieces of information, which is price, income, and expenses, and based on that, we'll be able to go and do all this stuff. And one last thing before we jump into it, if you're brand new to this stuff, go and check out my other video where I talk about some of the real estate terminology so you're familiar when we start breaking down these numbers and start looking at this. So let's go ahead and jump in and look at this deal. So what are we looking at today? Today is January 22nd, 2020. We are looking at 2410 Northeast 4th Street in Pompano Beach, Florida. MLS number F like Frank 102-00757. It is currently listed for $499,000. And don't worry, I have this area covered up here because this is actually an Airbnb analysis, and this actually is for owner occupied. Remember, in an FHA loan, you can go to HUD.gov, and on HUD.gov, they actually have mortgage limits for FHA loans. So in Broward County, where Pompano Beach is located, a 2-family, the maximum is $478,450. So this, at the current price point, would not qualify for an FHA loan. This is why you're seeing this column blank for the owner occupied. But with the Airbnb, because my price is going to be lower, it does qualify for FHA loan. So stay tuned for that. So again, if you're more experienced, let's jump into the cash investment or the leveraged investment and look and see what this deal looks like at the current price with what the current rentals are. It says Harbor Village, east of US 1 zoned multifamily, currently rented as duplex, tile throughout, central AC terrazzo, new central AC installed in 2016. Each unit was separate fenced backyard for privacy, dimensional roof with secondary water barrier, photos for insurance discount, approximately 10 years old, American metal hurricane panels, updated electrical, hardwire smoke detectors, sprinkler system in place, walking distance to the beach, Publix, shops, restaurants, and Pompano Sports Complex with Pompano Golf just west of the property. So that's the description. And then again on here, right now, based on the market rents, I know that the 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms close to the beach are renting out for approximately $1,500. The 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom is renting out for approximately $1,250. So based on that, let's go and jump into the cash investment. Our income, how do we figure out our income? We add these 2 numbers, which is our monthly rent, multiply it by 12. That's how we get $33,000. In this scenario, I'm not including vacancy, but again, you can have vacancy as a placeholder. Again, you can get a free copy of this spreadsheet that I use here in order to analyze the deals. And you could just go and click the link below. You don't have to enter your email address. Use it in Google Forms or download it. Use it in Excel on your computer. You can go ahead and do that. So then we have typical expenses, which are going to be taxes, $4,264, the insurance, about $2,500, water and sewer, landscaping, some repairs, etc. That gives us total expenses of $8,246. Then that gives us what's called an NOI, net operating income, of $24,754, which gives us a cap rate of 4.96%. Not that exciting. 20% leverage, right? What does that look like? Pretty much all the expenses are going to be the same. The income is going to be the same. The one number that we're adding is financing. Because we're buying it at $499, we're putting down $99,800, which gives us a principal and interest payment of $1,905.84. Multiply that times 12, our annual debt service is now $22,870.10. So again, that NOI is $1,883.90. We get the next number, which is cash on cash return. We invested we put in as a down payment $99,800. Our annual NOI, we get back about $1,883.90. Gives us a cash on cash of 1.89%. If you're a real estate syndicator, don't kill me. We're going to look at the Airbnb, and you're going to be much more excited about that. So stay tuned for that. And again, for the owner occupied, let's say that you kept, you decided to live in the larger unit. You decided to live in the smaller unit, and then you rented out the larger unit. You have $18,000 of income coming in. Again, once we subtract our expenses, our financing, your monthly out of pocket is going to be about $1,845.70. So again, it makes no sense if you could rent out the unit for $1,250. Why would you pay a mortgage of $1,845, right? So with this present scenario, the numbers don't look that favorable, especially if you're an owner-occupied. And again, if you're an investor, it's up to you to determine if this falls in your investment category. This is not investment advice. Now, let's get into the exciting stuff. Again, this address, if you look it up, 2410 Northeast 4th Street, Pompano Beach, it is literally a couple of, it's walking distance to the beach, less than 5 minutes walking. So it's ideal, for Airbnb. And I actually looked up Airbnb, and you look up on the map, and you can actually see what else is going on there. So let me get all of these papers out of the way so you can start to see what's going on here and get excited about this stuff, okay? Now follow me here. I'm going to go line by line on this stuff so you don't have to get confused. You don't have to get jumbled up. But let's just go line by line and compare and see what happens here, right? My offer price now is going to be $450,000 for this duplex, right? And that makes more sense based on the comparables that are in the area and just in general what's going on. Now here we are going to look at an Airbnb scenario, okay? Now, when you look up an Airbnb and you look up this address, what I did was I found out what the weekly rates were or what the daily rates were. So on average, I saw that the low season was about $990 per week. The high season, again, because it's close to the beach, was about $1,200 per week. That gives me an average of about $1,095 per week. Airbnb, based on what it says on their website, they charge a 3% fee. So that is going to give me $1,062.15 for the week. Now, again, this number, for example, when you look at the nightly rate of, in this property, let's see, the nightly rate on the low season was $165. The high rate was $200 a night. this is what you're gonna get as the host, okay? On top of that, you have the taxes, you have the cleaning fees, you have other charges that are going in there. So this is your actual net number based on the Airbnb comparables that I'm looking at, that I'm able to pull, and this is what the numbers look like, right? Okay. Occupancy rate. How do I get occupancy rate? So there's a website called Statistia. They give you pretty much all sort of random statistics. Pretty much if you look at hotels historically for the last about 5 years have been about 60% occupancy rate, okay? So if we take 52 weeks out of the year, multiply that times 60%, we are going to assume that 32 weeks out of the year, this property is going to be rented out with Airbnb. So now, considering all of that stuff, let's take a look and see how that looks like with what's going on here. So right here, what we have is, remember, we have 2 units, okay? Unit 1 and Unit 2. I am assuming that they're renting out at the same price. The 3-bedroom, maybe you get a little bit more. The 2-bedroom, maybe you get a little bit less. So we take the 2 units, $1,062.15 times 2 times 12, that gives us an annual income of $67,977.60 versus in this scenario where you have it rented out as a typical, month-to-month tenant or an annual tenant, it's only $33,000. So right here, the potential, is almost double with Airbnb. Now again, our expenses. I have property taxes. Again, this is not including Airbnb taxes because remember, the Airbnb taxes are on top of this stuff that's here. So property taxes, $4,264. That's going to stay the same. The insurance, as you saw here, it was $2,500. I bumped it up to $3,000. Water and sewer, in this scenario, was $500. I did double that. Management, okay? You're going to have somebody, if you're a cash investor, you're probably going to have somebody else manage this unit. You're not going to manage it on your own. So you might have a management fee, which is 10% of that income, which is $6,797.76. Then you have some landscaping, electrical. Obviously, you got to pay for electrical. So that's $1,200. And then I had some minimal repairs, $800. That gives us a total expenses $17,843 in a cash deal. There is no financing. That brings our NOI to $50,133.84, where in this scenario was $24,700. So you could see the relationship is almost double here. And again, the cap rate jumps to 11.14% because now we're taking this NOI and we're going over the 450. That's our ratio, right? Again, same thing with the leverage. The income is the same. The expenses are the same. We do have financing. We're going to go to the bank and say, hey, we need a loan for $450,000. I have 20% down payment, which is $90,000. Your principal and interest payment is going to be $1,718.70. Multiply that times 12, you get annual debt service of $20,624.34. So again, even after you take that income minus all the expenses, including your management and your financing, you have an NOI of $29,509.50, okay? Then in this scenario, the cash on cash, which is the relationship between this NOI and your down payment of $90,000, is 32.79%. Now, I know the syndicators are probably smiling at this number and you probably want to call me in order to buy this deal. Let's go ahead and let's get it done. But practically what you're looking at here is, if these numbers go exactly like we're planning here with a 60% vacancy rate, with everything going as planned, you're putting in about $90,000 into this property and you're taking out about $30,000 per year, which again, practically speaking, in about 3 years, you're making your money back. And then after that, it's pretty much all profit. And again, if you have years that the occupancy rate is, 65 or 70%, this number is going to be much higher as well. Now, the exciting part for the owner occupieds, right? Again, in this scenario, we couldn't use FHA loans because it was over that limit. But in this scenario, because we're going at 450, you can actually buy this using an FHA loan. So again, look at this scenario. The income previous to that, because you were occupying the 1250 unit and renting out the 1500, your income previous to that on a month-to-month tenant was 18,000. Now with the Airbnb, your potential income, look at this, 33,988 and 80 cents. That number is huge. The other thing here, because you're living at the property, right? Again, I'm not talking about cleaning. I'm not talking about, folding the sheets and doing laundry, none of that stuff. I'm talking about pure management, okay? There are companies that do Airbnb management, okay? I have a good friend, Ty, that actually does this stuff, that they'll manage everything for you. They'll charge you a percentage of what you're gonna get. They'll take care of everything. They'll deal with the clients. They'll deal with getting the Wi-Fi set up, getting the cleaning done, all of that hustle and bustle that needs to be done. In this scenario, I'm assuming that you, because you live at the property, you will actually be hosting these individuals. You can hire out a cleaning company, which will go there, they're cleaning, so you don't have to do that. But again, you're at least answering them, changing out the coffee, bringing them whatever, toothbrushes and toothpaste whenever they need it, telling them where the closest restaurant is, all that kind of good stuff, right? You're being the host. So because you're doing that, you're saving this management fee here. So that could be zero. Or again, you could give it off to a property manager, Airbnb manager, and they're going to charge you this 10% of that 33,000. The other thing that you're saving on is landscaping. In this scenario previous, you had 800. As an owner occupied, you're living there. Hey, I'm going to save you that money, 800 bucks. The electric is remaining the same, and then the repairs are a little bit lower because now you only have one unit instead of two. You're living in the other one, and to say, hey, I'm going to deduct all the expenses in the unit that I live, that's just kind of unfair. So based on that, your expenses now are $9,846, but you have annual debt service, which is pretty much this number. So again, because you're using an FHA loan and you're only putting 3.5% down payment of $450,000, that is $15,750. So now you have what's called PMI, private mortgage insurance. So your total payment between your principal, interest, and your PMI is $2,254.11 times 12 gives you $27,049.36. Okay, let me come over here. So now when you subtract all this stuff, you're still negative, okay? So that means you're still gonna come out of pocket, but just follow me here, right? Your total annual out of pocket is $2,906.56. That means on a monthly basis, your out of pocket is $242.21, which means that your monthly cash flow, if you were living in this unit paying $1,250 in rent, now you're only paying $242. Now you have an extra cash flow of $1,007.79. Again, if you look at Denzel's information and if you follow Velocity Banking, you could start to understand how powerful this is, because now you could use this cash flow to even pay off this debt much quicker or any other sort of debt that you have utilizing the Velocity Banking strategy. Not only that, but check this out, right? In this scenario, if you actually lived in it, because your monthly out of pocket as owner occupied is $1,845, it made no sense, right? Because why would you pay $1,845 for a mortgage and have to do all the maintenance and all these other things and have the responsibility of owning this home when you could rent it for $1,250? I agree with you, that makes no sense. Now, what if you could live very, very close to the beach? You could do this with Airbnb. You can, have a property manager if you wanted to, and that will reduce it. That if this number is about $3,400, that means it's about $300 a month, which ends up being, $300 a month less here. You're still about $700 cash flow positive. So that means now if you add 300 to this number, you're about $542 per month instead of the $1,250. So again, you're saving about $700 here by doing this scenario with Airbnb. So again, Airbnb, I am working with a couple of investors that are actually looking at this Airbnb strategy. They are still looking and doing comparisons for both, because again, there are local regulations, there are state regulations, Airbnb has their own regulations. You're counting on a third-party source. So again, as an savvy investor, you kind of have to look at the worst case scenario and saying, hey, if this number, let's say 5 years from now, Airbnb or VBRO or all these other sites, let's say they become banned in the city of Pompano Beach, or there's an extra tax that, is just so high that these numbers become lower, or whatever the scenario is, what if I have to go back to here, now what is that looking like, right? So again, you always have to kind of consider both scenarios. But again, Airbnb and all these home sharing is just a very, very powerful tool. So again, if you would like for me to analyze your property, I'd be more than happy to do it. You don't have to send me the address. You don't have to send me the MLS number. So don't worry about anyone stealing your deal. Again, just 3 pieces of information: price, the income that you're going to get, either monthly income for the units, and also the expenses that you are going to put on this property. And if you have an offer price, go ahead and send us that information. I'd be more than happy to do it. Again, if you're looking to work with a real estate broker, it's always encouraged to use a professional, licensed real estate broker that understands and knows the market, that understands this stuff. And again, by you watching this video and becoming educated, now you can talk to the real estate broker or even to the seller directly if you don't want to use a real estate broker, and say, hey, this is why I'm offering you $450 based on the comparables. This number at the $450 just doesn't make sense, but I'm looking to do owner occupied and looking to do a couple of things in order to reposition this unit, so I'm willing to offer $450. Now, just as a word of advice, if I was to represent you as a buyer and you're looking at this type of analysis, don't go in and tell the seller, hey, I'm looking to do Airbnb and I've ran the numbers, and if I do Airbnb, I'm going to potentially make $67,000, because then the seller might say, hey, wait a second, I'm renting out here making $33,000. Let me look into this Airbnb option, and I might not even sell this property because it's probably, lucrative for me to go ahead and keep it for another 10 years and do this Airbnb gig, right? So again, don't give out all of the information. This is your strategy. This is one strategy that you can apply to any real estate deal, especially if it's very, very close to the beach, within a mile from the beach or whatever. It makes perfect sense how this would work. So hopefully you're able to take away something with this. Again, you can see how, here we can't do FHA because the price point is too high. Here we can. So again, you have multiple options with financing, cash, whatever it is that you're looking to do. Again, if you're a real estate syndicator, or if you're looking at bigger deals, make sure you check out my other playlist where we look at some other bigger deals. But if you're just getting started, again, continue to watch these smaller deals where you can get with FHA loans with as little as 3.5% down. Again, $15,750, where again, if right here, if you were paying $1,250 in rent, now you're only paying $242.21 to make up your mortgage and expenses. That means you have an extra $1,000 left over in about 15 months. Okay, based on these numbers, you're gonna get 100% of your money back, and then everything that is profit. You're living a mile away from the beach. You have this Airbnb. That's all going well. That's growing. That's a whole separate business model that you have going on, right? It's all exciting. Everything is going good. But again, this is what real estate is about, and this is just another way to analyze property using Airbnb. If you enjoyed this, let me know, comment, let me know how else I can help you. Again, if you have a property, I'd be more than happy to analyze it and help you out with whatever deal you have going on. So with that, go and check out the links below for your free spreadsheet. You don't have to enter your email. Go and check out Denzel's page where you can go ahead and get your strategy for velocity banking, and you can look up a whole bunch of playlists that he has with talking about different things on there. So with all that said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.